accept that we're not in that place.
And then you think this guy, how could anybody be better than this guy?
Make them feel almost kind of like ashamed.
There's so much freedom in being single. Where are you? Like, you're not even here.
I'm gonna cry like after the wedding.
I can't believe I come cry with you. I miss Ashley. Use this episode as opportunity to realize what your relationship with God is supposed to be like. The more you're focused on Christ, just nothing else really seems to matter.
To be 100% honest, it brings more challenge in your life. No human can fully satisfy you. Feeling lonely is not a bad thing.
For a long time, I told myself that marriage was bad. But I feel like that can be a lie that Satan really destroys us with.
Are worthy.
Hello! Welcome to our sister chat. First one ever. Well, no, not that we don't ever talk.
So today's Ashley's bridal shower, and Allison had the idea to film a short video, very spontaneously, of her and I talking about like singleness while your sister's dating, engaged,
And getting married.
yeah, obviously.
Which hasn't happened yet, but it will soon. What was your reaction when you found out that Brian was going to ask Ashley?
Yeah, so I cried.
You did, really?
I did! You didn't know that?
No.
Yeah, I stood there. Well, my first reaction was, oh, I need to get this on camera. And so I took pictures, and then I cried, like the whole time.
Was it like a happy cry, or was it part?
I don't know. I had a bunch of different emotions. Yeah. What about you?
My first reaction was excitement. Like, I was like so happy, and then I was like, oh, it's not me. Honestly, that's what came to my mind. So I'm glad Mommy told me, like, that ahead of time so that I could be truly happy for her.
So yeah, when she first said that we were gonna make a video, I was thinking like, you know, it's sometimes hard when you want to be married and you have a desire to be married, but your sister's the one in that position, and I think that we need to ask the Lord, first of all, to soften our hearts and be grateful for her and excited for her, because like we can be excited but yet like also just like accept that we're not in that place and still be happy for her. Because one thing that I find comforting, is kind of funny, but is like if we're interested in a guy and then we're like, well, you know what, if he's not the one, then there's someone better out there for me. And so it's kind of like if you think that this guy's like really nice and whatever, you're like, wow, I get someone better than that, because God has plans that are better than we could ever imagine.
And then you think this guy, how could anybody be better than this guy?
But it literally always happens.
And then sometimes you'll meet somebody better and you're like, wait, this guy's even better than her. And then that doesn't happen and you're like, oh.
Yeah.
So is there really somebody better?
Yeah, for sure.
And I think as being 4.5 years older than Ashley, for me it was kind of hard to also not be jealous, because I'm older than her, and that's what's been hard for me. But I've come to realize that at the root of people's discontentment when we're not married is all the same. It doesn't matter how old you are.
Mm-hmm. And I think the world puts a lot more emphasis on the age that we should get married, and almost like makes the people who aren't dating or married, who are 20 or up, or even teenager and up, who aren't dating, they make them feel almost kind of like ashamed, or like they're doing something wrong if they aren't. And that's so not true, because the Lord's plans prevail. So.
And there's so much freedom in being single. Just watching Ashley go through her relationship, she literally, her time is consumed with calling Brian or planning a wedding, or when are they going to get married next, and when they were dating, or not married, when they're going to go on a date next. And before they were engaged, you have that new fresh love feeling, and they're all, they can't think, and some of the stories we heard where they literally people were like, where are you?
So,
Like,
just
you're not
the
even
here.
here. Freedom that comes with that, if you can embrace that and really keep yourself focused on God, which is really hard sometimes.
Yeah.
That's like such a gift that in eternity it says that it's going to be as we're never married. So just remembering that is a really big help.
Mm-hmm.
Are you excited for her to get married?
Of course. And I think the thing that is easier to, like, I think I'm gonna not, I told her this yesterday, I think I'm gonna not cry during her wedding, but I'm gonna cry, like, after her wedding. I can't believe can I come cry with you? Yeah, let's have a cry fest.
Not necessarily self-pity.
No, it's just like you miss her, but you're excited for her.
Yeah, and I think for me, it will take probably about a week because new things don't normally hit for about a week. Like when our parents will go on an anniversary thing sometimes, it doesn't really hit that they're gone until, I don't know, about 3 days in maybe?
Yeah, maybe.
About 3 days in, you're like, oh, so where is my parents now?
Because, like, we're doing our work and stuff, and then...
And the only thing that's really different is...
evening time.
Yeah, they're not there for supper, and so, yeah, when Ashley won't be there for supper or whatever, it'll be like, I miss Ashley.
Yeah. So, before we end this, what would be your biggest tip for singles who are either wanting to be married or have a sibling who is dating or engaged?
Oh, it would definitely be, for me, what I learned this year, especially watching Ashley go through her relationship. Use this as an opportunity, if you have a sibling that's married or you have a close friend even, use this as an opportunity to realize what your relationship with God is supposed to be like. So when Ashley and Brian literally couldn't think of anything but each other, we're supposed to have that with God. Like, we're supposed to be so focused on Him. What's the psalm or the song that says something about all these things will fade away in the background
Yeah.
because you're focused on Him?
Yeah, I know what you're talking
But
about.
that song it always stands out to me when that phrase comes up, is the more you're focused on Christ, just nothing else really seems to matter. I've noticed that this year God's really been helping me focus on Him. And there was about a month, and then just like a few days ago, for about 3 weeks, I had a really hard time with keeping my emotions and my feelings under control, and just because I wasn't focused on Christ. And then, so yeah, just using it as an opportunity to draw closer to Christ, just like you would anything. And what about you?
Yeah, I would say the same, like, draw closer to the Lord, because one thing that I have learned recently is that literally no human being can make you happy and content. Like, they can't. Honestly, to be 100% honest, it brings more challenge in your life. When you have this person in your life, it brings more challenge in not a bad way. Like, marriage is good, relationships are good, but, well,
They should be.
but yeah, no human can fully satisfy you. And I think that's my biggest tip, is draw closer to the Lord. And I do just want to say that feeling lonely is not a bad thing. Feeling these feelings aren't bad. It's what we do with those feelings. I think that when I had these feelings, I always used to think that, it was bad. And that, I was doing something wrong, which I do a lot of the time. But I was doing something wrong. Like, if I felt these feelings, I was doing something wrong to feel those.
Yeah.
And it's not bad. It's what we do with those feelings. So take those feelings to the Lord. I think those are my biggest two.
And I want to add to that too, because for a long time I told myself that marriage was bad. Having the desire to be married was bad. And I realized that was a lie from the enemy, because God made marriage. He created it. And it's just not your season yet, or it's not your time. It's not for you right now. But I feel like that can be a lie that Satan really, really destroys us with, because
Because he doesn't want godly marriages.
that, and he wants us to keep our eyes focused on our bad. So if we're constantly like, oh, marriage is bad, when our mind should really be focused on, oh, God, thank you for marriage, and thank you for the desire to be married. and thank you that someday you may fulfill that desire. And so yeah, just realizing that.
Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Yeah, okay, I should show up soon, and the party will be, well, not really, it'll be an hour from now, but yeah, I enjoyed doing this video, and I hope that it can be a really big encouragement to you guys.
So see y'all later.
Bye! One of those might be good.
Oh my goodness.
Together we're strong. Together we're strong.